All right, I'm making this video on adjusting the Baker attitude adjuster. I had a request to show how to do this, so I thought as long as I'm at it, I might as well do it. I'm doing a lot of work to my bike. I just put a new S&S crankshaft in it, and I'm got rid of the compensator and put a solid sprocket in. That's why I'm getting this back together and going to adjust the shoe now. So what I've done is just followed the instructions that came with it to get it mounted in here. There's a nut that goes on here, but that's not till after final adjustment, and then that gets put on. So right now I just basically guessed and tightened up the nut which holds the shoe in place. I've made a mark here, and I marked by this hole, and what I'll do is just rotate this around to every hole. There's 8 of them, and check the adjustment here, the free play. According to Baker, these clutch baskets are not exactly true, so there's always varying points of tightness, so you want to check all the way around to make sure you're within spec. The spec they recommend is 5/8 to 7/8 inches of free play right here in the center of the chain. So we'll call this hole number 1, and right there I'm at pretty close to 7/8. Okay, I can rotate this really easy. I have no pistons or cylinders on this engine right now. So we'll go to hole 2, check it. That's about 6/8, 3/4 of an inch. That's good. Hole 3. About 3/4 of an inch again. 4. It's the same. It's pretty close to 3/4 of an inch. Position 5, or hole 5 as I call it. Again, we're running real close to 3/4 of an inch of free play. I'm just going, just putting my tape on the chain case so I have a solid hold, and basically just checking that slop right here in the middle of the chain. This position 6. Probably just over 3/4 of an inch. 7. That's right around 3/4 of an inch, maybe just a hair over. And position 8. Here we're getting back to where we're close to 7/8 of an inch. And if I go back to position 1, that should be, I believe it started out about 7/8. Looks like I got lucky, got it the first time. Yeah, that's actually, that last spot is actually maybe just over 7/8, barely. So that's perfect. I talked to a technician from Baker when I first put this in, and he said, you want to err on the sloppy side. And I know from a past experience, if you adjust this just one of these little notches, it makes quite a bit of difference. So I see no reason to adjust it at all. I'm 7/8 at the sloppiest point, and about 3/4 or a hair under at the tightest point. That's perfect. So what I'll do now is go ahead and torque this nut. I'll torque that, and then this little nut goes on here, and there's a torque spec for that also. So that's it. That's how you adjust the Baker attitude adjuster. Pretty easy. I got lucky the first time. and where I set it, and it's done. So hope everybody's staying safe out there, and see you later. Here I am sitting in my car waiting for a place to open up to get some breakfast. But anyway, I wanted to add a little something else onto this video. It occurred to me laying in bed last night, as it often does when I'm laying there can't sleeping and my mind's turning, that I should have checked the chain tension all the way around with one revolution of the clutch basket, because that is the larger of the two sprockets, and supposedly the one that's probably out of round. So I went out in my shop this morning and I did that, and what I found was there were one side of it, the chain tension actually dropped down to just over 5/8 of an inch. So I've got, at that particular setting of my attitude adjuster chain tensioner, in one revolution of the clutch basket, it goes from just barely over 7/8 of an inch to a little over 5/8 of an inch. So that still is the perfect setting, because it keeps it right there on the loose side of within specs. So the point is you want to check that all the way around and find the notch of your chain tensioner adjustment that gives you the optimal spot, because it can vary quite a bit. Anyway, thanks for watching.